WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys, 1,000 bottles worldwide of the Gospel Project Release Legacy Rye, 56% ABV, 700 milliliters. This is Whiskybase number 236908. Was released 2023, sold out in Australia, 120 Australian dollars. Over here in Germany, about 79 euros. All right, so a little bit of detail here. Legacy Rye is a dedication in Andrew's and Ben's great love of American-style whiskeys and the collaborative journey to produce deliciously unpretentious whiskey. So the founders of the Gospel Distillery were Andrew Fitzgerald and his partner Ben Bowles. They actually invited and had then in their fold, in their staff, they call themselves the Fanatics, exactly, Ian Thorne. So Ian Thorne learned a lot about brewing, distilling in the UK, came back, worked for Starward, and now is at the Gospel. Legacy Rye is a 3-year-old whiskey. All right, the youngest whiskey possible on the European market, distilled from a mash bill of, and that's important here, 59% Mallee rye. Mallee is a region in the southeast of Australia, and by Melbourne, not far, far away. Very dry, very arid, but still they make great rye apparently there. So 59% Australian rye, we have 35% Australian corn, and we have 6% Australian malted barley. And this is a whiskey reminiscent of Maryland-styled rye. We have rye from Pennsylvania, Mahogany. That is basically a rye with no corn. We have, for example, 95% rye, 5% malted barley, MGP. That is a Pennsylvania-style rye. And the Maryland-style rye had corn in it. Think Sagamore. All right. It was then aged in a heavily toasted and high char casks in the middle of the bonded warehouse store. And it provided a very consistent maturation profile. Good. What am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to a Maryland-style rye that is not made in Maryland. That is Pikesville. It used to say Maryland style on here, but now it's straight rye whiskey. It doesn't even say Kentucky on it, which is very, very interesting. It is made by Heaven Hill. All right, so it says on the back here, Prohibition shuttered most of the once blooming Maryland, there we have the word, Maryland rye whiskey. Pikesville produced since 1890s, remerged after Prohibition, and received the Lone brand, and became the Lone brand to keep the style of a rye alive. Now produced in Kentucky from extra aged barrels stored in a prime warehouse location. Heaven Hill has relaunched the past with the rich and spicy notes of Pikesville reclaimed. I do need glasses. I know that when I read like that. Sorry. One of the best corks in the world. This is pure 100% cork on the top, on the sides, in the thing. I thoroughly love it. Now, this cost anywhere between 78 euros and 84 euros over here in Germany for the Pikesville. This is $79.99. This has a mash bill of, I had the mash bill. Where do I have the mash bill here? So the mash bill is 51% rye. This is 59. We have 39% corn. We have 35. We have 10% malted barley. We have 6% malted barley. This used to have a 6-year-old statement. It disappeared many, many years ago. I hope it comes back soon. All right. So on the nose, goodness, a little bit of caramel, butterscotch, leather, and a nice little fruitiness going on in there, the rye. This is a barely legal rye with 51%, all right? 59% still legal, but barely. This has, now I smell this and I think I'm in Kentucky. I think I'm in Indiana. I think I'm in Ohio. I think I'm in Tennessee. This is American style rye whiskey. This is the best. Well, I have the lot 40 here. One of the best rye whiskeys I've had that has not come from that region of Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee ever. This is really, really good stuff. They did a great job. This is made on a column still. This is made on a column still. They mash it in with the grain, with the corn, and they distill it with the grain and the corn, just like they do with Kentucky rye or Maryland rye. Now, in Scotland with single malt, you actually have a lauterton, and you lautern, German Läutern, which means you separate the solids from the liquid, and then you distill only the liquids. Column still, you just put it all in there, you run it through, you get this stillage that comes out at the end, you give it an animal feed someplace, everyone's happy. At the top you have the vapors of the alcohol. That's great. That's what they're doing there as well. And this is some very nice stuff. Wow. I'm surprised and pleasantly surprised to add to that. All right, cheers. That's got some nice notes. Wow. That's got some really nice notes. I get a tiny little bit of an orange peel going on in there. I get a little bit here of toffee, honey, leather, orange marmalade, allspice, cinnamon, clove. Is it cedar wood that I'm getting? I'm not sure. This is very, very nice. This is a B minus whiskey. It could be a B on a good day, but let's just give it a B minus, all right? This is definitely on a very normal day a B whiskey. Value for money. It's difficult to get anything over here in Europe that is rye and cask strength that is not about 80 euros. At the moment, we can get some of the following whiskeys over here. We can get, for example, this is about 84. We can still get the Baconis Eclipse for 84. The Willet Family Estate Rye, 4 years old, 72. And what just recently hit the market just a few months ago is the RY3, the Rye 3 cask strength, rum cask finish, 58.6%, 50 euros. That's a bargain. That's great. Most of the products at N10 actually brings over to Germany. The Peerless. So we have Catoctin Creek, which also belongs to bottle brands over here in Germany, but in the UK over there with N10. We have here from Wilderness Trail. We have here from New Riff. We have Driftless Glen. We're all running about 80 to 85 euros for those. Those are great, great price range. And that's what this is as well. That is good. Tiny little bit of forest strawberries in there as well. Good long finish. B minus whiskey. Solid B minus. Maybe even a B on a good day. The Pikesville in comparison, I'll come back to that in a second. Here we get more of the butterscotch, corn. The barrel is such a great moment. This is the Bourbon Lovers Rye Whiskey. So if you love bourbon and you're trying to get your way into rye, go for the Pikesville. And if that's a little bit too much for you, go over here for the Rittenhouse. 50%, this is 55. Same mash bill, same distillery. This is bottle and bond. This is not. Great, great product here. Wow. A little bit more of the vanillas, a little bit of the caramels. Very, very nice. This is solid B on a good day, a B plus, but a solid B. Value for money. Still a C, sometimes a C minus when I think about it, but because I remember how it used to be cheaper. That's what my heart's torn apart there, that moment. That, oh, back then, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, even sometimes 5 years ago. I remember the prices here. We were paying 60 euros for this. This over here. 1,000 bottles worldwide. We have a little bit more of an herbal moment going on here than here. This is sweeter. And a little bit of a almost thyme, Thyme moment going on here. The herbal in this is a little bit better. Yeah, solid B minus. All right, so my question of the day is, first of all, what is your favorite cask strength rye whiskey from wherever in the world you can think of? If that's too difficult for you, what is your favorite rye whiskey that you have had? So the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye is fantastic. I don't know if you had it or not yet, but I have, and that stuff is amazing. I'm going to be in the States in August, and I think I'm going to put at least one into my suitcase if I can and bring that back. That was so good. So good. All right, this is very good, but the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye was amazing. Almost on par, not exactly. This is still going to win a little bit, but that's good stuff. Thank you very much, The Gospel, for doing that project. I love that Maryland-style rye from your rye distillery from Australia. That was good. Don't forget to write, comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell others. And thank you very much for all your support. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.